in the past decade, we've learned more about brain than the entire history of humankind.
I'm so glad to be here.
I was born near the mountains. I just wanted to be successful and make money. And I was very dedicated to that idea. I didn't start with brain science. I started with aerospace and technology. What is actually stress? Stress is a normal thing. It's a biological response. What stress does is basically activates your nervous system. If you just tell somebody, hey, don't worry about it, it's ultimately telling, like, try to shut down half of your brain. It's not how it works. There's no physiological way to stop that from happening. Actually, 90+% of our stressors have nothing to do with what is happening in the physical environment. Just with my mind, I can create a lot of psychological stress. And it's not a bug, it's a feature thing. We call it Prism. This is 5 psychological factors that maximize the amount of psychological stress. Do you see workload on this thing? And this is a huge misconception because people think that people get stressed and burned out because of the amount of work. And that's not what science tells us.
So this is super interesting.
The higher cortisol, the higher the chance of amygdala being triggered by another stressor, which makes you like super crazy.
It's hard to predict in this environment.
We're all screwed, basically.
No, that it's like a game where you don't know the rules.
A little bit upsetting that in order to develop all the tools in mindfulness, we had to go through all that experience.
I wanted to show you a tool that I found very useful that we've developed. It's a tool called Neurobalance. So it's basically a spectrum of our nervous system activation.
And I can share that my thermometer usually are kids.
Getting similar responses that were somewhere between overwhelmed and numb.
Yeah, that is a really dangerous place because we can't swing that far. It's through exciting meetings and events and technology. Like, you can't push it. You can push it. You can get a ton of adrenaline and dopamine in your system to temporarily swing it. So I have a cool test for you. And you can scan this code and it will show you how much time in the past 2 weeks you've spent in each of those zones. How do we help people spend more time in integration zone? This is kind of like overarching framework, which you should always start with number 1.
That set of tools you need to get yourself back.
If it helps, I'm so grateful that I was able to spend this time with you.
So much for doing this. I think you are a definition of a value-added investor. I cannot express how great this was. Personally, for me, very important.
Amazing insights. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.